Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. Welcome to the Prog Corner. Today, it's part, what, 4? Yeah, I don't know, I can't keep track. It's part 4 of your obscure album picks. You curated them, I'm ranking them. Today, we're doing numbers 46 to 70. And these just get better and better as we go along. So without any further ado, we're going to start with number 70 and Black Jaspers, the Divine Comedy from 1997. This is an Italian band, and Vita Austrae e Strisi recommended that one to me. I'd never heard this band before. They're kind of prog metal, but there's a lot of great melodies. This is a double album, so it's a really long album. I actually did make it all the way through it, and I really like this, so thank you for that. At number 69, another band I knew nothing about. This is a band from the Netherlands. They're called Red Jasper, and the album is A Midsummer Night's Dream, and this nomination came to me from Jennifer Allen. Red Jasper, I knew nothing about these guys. This is a great pick, Jennifer. Really good. Imagine if Marillion and Jethro Tull had a baby. That's kind of what I'm hearing on this band. I liked it so much, I actually went ahead and listened to another album from them called The Winter's Tale. I guess they like their Shakespeare. At number 68, oh, this is a cool one from Not Now John. From Bahrain, 1981, the debut album of Osiris. This is a band that obviously never heard that new wave and punk had taken over. They just sound like they're straight out of the 70s. The only thing that clues you in that is 81 is some of the newer synthesizers. There's some Korg and stuff like that that we weren't using in the 70s, but man, this is a great record. What a fantastic call. At number 67, we're going with Richard Wright's debut solo album, Wet Dream. This came to us in 1978, and Loyalist 62 nominated it. I love this album. I'm a big fan of Richard Wright. I think he's really underrated. This is my favorite solo album from him. And it's got the great Mel Collins on it too. What else do you want? At number 66, The Longchello. Oh, this is a great album from 1974. It's David Jackson, it's Hugh Batten, it's Guy Evans. Yeah, you know those names. This is basically Vandergraaf Generator without Peter Hamill, and it's fantastic. A lot of those rough edges have been sanded down, so this is a much easier listening experience than most Vandergraaf Generator albums. I am a huge David Jackson fan. I love this album. I've always loved it. But I just found out there were 3 more. I never knew that. I thought this was a one-off. I thought there was no other Longchello albums, so I got to be digging into those. At number 65, courtesy of Dennis Pope, we're going with the 8th album from Kayak, and it's Merlin. This is from 1981. They actually redid this album in 2003. I like parts of this album. I'm a big Kayak fan, but I really like the first 5 albums. Merlin was a good record. I liked it a lot, so I'm really glad that you made me listen to it again, because when I listen to Kayak, it's always one of those first 5 or 6, so I'm really glad that I went back into Merlin. Not a bad record at all. At number 64, woo! Molly Whipple has come in. She wants me to talk about Phoenix again. The album is Look Out, and it came from Italy in 2014. Apparently this is their 2nd album. I knew nothing about these guys. They're a modern prog band, so there's a little, heavier edge to it. They sing in English. It's terrific. Why did I not know about these guys? Thank you so much, Molly. Great call. I knew you'd come up with something fantastic. Okay, here we go. Number 63. Let's see if I can pronounce the name of this band correctly, and let's see if I can actually identify from what country they are from. It's Kyrie Eleison and The Fountain Beyond the Sunrise. They are not from Australia, like I keep saying. They are from Austria. This is so obvious. You just listen to the guy singing. He's definitely got an accent there, and it's not Australian, so I'm an idiot. But I do really like this album. I was just turned on to this thing maybe like 6 months ago. Notes Reviews did a review of it on their channel. That's my first encounter with it. So I'm playing a little bit of catch up here with this band. And Joe Ear, great recommendation. At number 62, we talked about FM on our last episode, and here we are with the debut from 1978. Nickname nominated this one. This is my favorite FM album. It's fantastic. I really, really enjoy it a lot. It was really emblematic of what was going on there in the late 70s with Prog. You know, so many different influences coming in. I just dig it a lot. At number 61, here's another one that maybe doesn't fit the criterion for obscure. I don't care. It's obscure to some people. It's Alan Parsons' project with their third album, Pyramid. Thank you, Malcolm Cambridge, for this. You know, the more I think about it, the more I realize maybe this is kind of an obscure album everybody talks about. You know, the first one, the Edgar Allan Poe album, they talk about I, Robot. They talk about Eye in the Sky. Nobody ever talks about this album, and it's really quite good. So thank you for that, forcing me to listen to some Alan Parsons, which is something I don't do on the regs, but I do have the album. So yeah. At number 60, from 1968, thank you, Gert Vanderwerf. This is White Noise and their first album, Electric Storm. This is a band out of the UK that really was one of the pioneers of the electronic music scene. A lot of people years later have cited them as an influence, and why not? I mean, nobody was doing anything remotely like this in 68. It's really cool. They put out another album in the 70s. Then I think they put out their third album in 1980, and they had another one in 1990, but I think it was just the one guy left in the band, so the first album's the only one with all three of them. At number 59, we're going to St. Petersburg, Florida, with Babylon's debut album from 1978. I dig this album. I really do. They reissued it on vinyl a couple years ago, so I was able to pick up a fresh copy of it. I listen to it all the time. I'm a big fan of those guys. Dav Last, thank you for that nomination. Great call. You know I love me some obscure American prog, and Babylon certainly fits the bill there. At number 58, from Italy, it's Sensations Fix and Fragments of Light. This was their first album, although they put out 3 albums in 1974. This is not your traditional Italian prog album. There's hardly any drums at all. I don't know if there's any vocals at all. It's just a wild trip. It's kind of spaced out, but it's melodic. I really love it. I love these guys. Sensations Fix, fantastic. You guys know how much I love Italian prog. Yeah, at number 57. Oh, Sensations Fix was Guy Tapper. You see, I'm not going to miss anybody today. That's the plan. At number, 57, Rachel's Ghost. Oh, Rachel, you picked a fantastic one. It's Audience, The House on the Hill. This album came to us in 1971. This was their third album. Is Audience a pure prog band? Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess they're more art rock than prog, but the songwriting is incredible. And Howard Worth, the singer for this band, came this close to being Jim Morrison's replacement in the Doors. I guess they rehearsed for like 3 or 4 weeks. They were going to add him to the band, but I guess they decided just to call it a day. But Audience is fantastic. Good call, Rachel. At number 56, The Netherlands Must Be Heard From, and it's Earth and Fire and Songs of the Marching Children from 1971. I've got 2 people nominated this one. The great Harold Prog Rock Show, which, you know, I kind of figured he'd do something Dutch. And also Rob Gray nominated this one. If you don't know Earth and Fire, you need to check them out. They're one of the Netherlands' finest prog bands. They've got a female singer, which in the 70s was actually pretty rare. Journey Kagman was her name, and she's got a fabulous voice. I love these guys. Great album, great suggestion. Number 55. We're going to Germany. It's 1972, and it's Noi, boys and girls. Thank you, Prog Rock Rules. 1972, are you kidding me? I mean, you listen to that first Noi album, and where did that come from? I mean, what were they up to? I mean, these were two guys from Kraftwerk, so they understood their synthesizers, and they understood what they were doing. But man, that came out of the blue. Talk about being ahead of your time. 1972, that's insane. That's insane. At number 54, we're going to Switzerland. And Pictures by the Great Island. This is a one-off. They only put the one record out. This came to me from Jonathan Kaz. What a great call. The H.R. Geiger album cover is really cool. The music is as dark and scary as the album cover might indicate. If Vandergraaf Generator and King Crimson had a baby, maybe it'd sound a little bit like this album, but there's nothing else like it. I've never heard another album like Pictures. It's fabulous. It's really, really good. At number 53, the debut album from Steve Hillage, Fish Rising. This was 1975. Dude was still in Gong, so he's got all the Gong boys on this album playing with him. It's just amazing. It's my favorite Hillage solo album by a mile. I can't get enough of this album. It's terrific. Really, really great. Tony Bell, you know what time it is. Tony Bell obviously knows his music. At number 52, let's go to Finland. Yeah, and Wigwam with their third album, Eairyport, 1971. This was a double album in an age where double albums were really frowned upon. But yeah, I am a big Wigwam fan. Pekka Bajola is one of my most revered bass players of all time. The guy's a monster. Wigwam plays a jazzy, laid back, kind of prog, but it's really involved, really intricate, really, really great stuff. And R.I.P. Jim Pembroke, who left us October of 2021. A great loss to the music world. At number 51, it's echolyn's Me or May. I've never known how to pronounce this thing. It came out in 2002. And Parieth Charnsethikal. Man, dude, every time you nominate something, I butcher your name. I apologize again, but no apologies necessary for the quality of your pick. What a fantastic album. If I had to pick one echolyn album, this would be the one I would pick. It's one song. It just all the way through, kind of like Jethro Tull's Thick as a Brick or something like that. But these guys have so much stuff in their music. You hear Americana, you hear classic prog, you hear classic rock. It's just phenomenal. If you don't know echolyn, this is the album to start with. Even though, you know, this is a weird band that actually got signed back in the 90s, one of the few prog bands that actually had a major label deal, but their music got better when they went back to indie. Anyway, at number 50, courtesy of Mark Woolen, we're going to 1972 again, and Gnidrolog's Lady Lake. I absolutely love this album. I've been in love with it forever. Yeah, believe it or not, both of their albums are on this list. But for some reason, I kind of am preferring the debut these days. This was their second album. I enjoy it so much. Mark Woolen, great call. What a great album cover. The album cover's so good, I used it as the thumbnail for this video. At number 49, more German stuff, please, from 1977. It's Eloy and The Ocean, clearly their masterpiece. Glenn Calloway, you hit the nail right on the head. They have a lot of great, great albums, Eloy does. They're still putting out great albums to this day, but I don't think they will ever top The Ocean. It stands as their masterpiece for a reason. It's got everything I want out of an Eloy album and then some. It's atmospheric, it's got great melodies, and the dude's voice you do get used to after a while. At number 48, courtesy of Steve Zubel, this is a record I have seen around my entire life from 1975. Believe it or not, I never listened to it before until this weekend. And it's the debut album, the one and only album from Armageddon. This is a band comprised of people from the Yardbirds, Renaissance, Captain Beyond. I guess Keith Reef is the lead singer here, and it's great. These songs are powerful. They're kind of rocking, it's kind of normal, classic rock stuff, but there's jam band kind of feel going on. Was this the first jam band? I mean, they're just phenomenal. I did not expect anything like this. I love Captain Beyond. I like the early Renaissance stuff. I like the Yardbirds, but this was like nothing I was anticipating at all. An amazing call, Steve Zubel. I knew you could do it. At number 47, I told you this would be on the list. It's T2. It'll all work out in Boomland from 1970. This is an amazing album. It's so beautiful. Such great melodies throughout. It creates such a fantastic feel. It's a feel-good record if ever there was one. And side 2 is the 22-minute long epic called Mornings. It's a dynamite album. If you don't know T2, you need to check this one out. It's fabulous. And at number 46, Pallas The Sentinel from 1984. Oh yeah, T2 was by Christopher. Did I miss anybody else? No, I think that's it. T2 was Christopher, but now we're talking about Pallas, and I had 2 people nominate this one. I've got Tim Johnson and Tom Simmons, the 1984 debut album from Pallas, produced by Eddie Offord. And no, that's not a Roger Dean cover. It sure does look like it. I mean, how cool would that have been if they could have gotten Eddie producing and Roger doing the album cover? But hey, the album cover's phenomenal. These guys were kind of, the rug was kind of pulled out from under them. This should have been a better album. It should have just been the Atlanta suite that they were doing live for years before they started recording. They should have never put those, shorter pop songs on the front end of this thing. But, Pallas is a great band and The Sentinel's a terrific album. I'm nitpicking here. It's obviously something I really like a lot, or else it wouldn't have made it this high on the list. But anyway, part 5 is coming up, and as you guys noticed, these are getting better and better. The quality of these records is just amazing. I am just blown away by just how knowledgeable you guys are, how deep your knowledge base runs. Makes me look like an amateur, makes me look like a rookie, like I don't even know what I'm doing here, but we all know I'm doing my best, so what can I say? Anyway, have a great day. I will see you freaks on the flip-flop. Peace.